Started with innocent games like Pac-Man and Android Belt.
Yes, the gateway games.
Precisely. But he soon moved on to the hard stuff, and well, eventually he got into illegal programs.
You think you're all fine with these Namco games from Japan.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're going to John Romero for your hookups.
And you don't want to know what you have to do to get those games. You don't want to know.
He made me his bitch.
Hello and welcome back to the 105th episode of Good Bad Media LLC, show where we watch terrible movies and tell you if you should too. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Chiligo, joined as always by the co-host, Mr. Kyle Hinton. Kyle, we're just getting off the high that is Jupiter Ascending. I create life!
And I destroy.
With some big budget studio schlock that was quite fun. Decided we had some copyright issues with that one.
No way.
Warner Brothers, very particular about what...
Jupiter Ascending, I want that. That's what it's Warner Brothers.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back to the well of things nobody's ever heard of,
Yeah,
and movies that are already up in their entirety on YouTube. We're talking about the 2000. It says 2003, and we actually got this one in the mail. Both of these, I think, but this one
Actually, I think I might have that one. Actually,
you might have it, but it's got two names.
It's called, one is Maximum Surge,
and the other is
Game Over.
Game Over, man.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now?
Bill Paxton, rest in peace.
So I looked this up. Somebody sent this in, and it was the DVD cover that looks like The Matrix, where it's like a girl, and it's Yasmin Bleeth is the girl on the cover, and she's in this movie. And I'm gonna use movie in giant air quotes because
Is how this film came to be.
yes,
And it is hilarious that they had... The film was attempt number 2 at what this is.
Yeah. Yes. So what this movie is they were making a game called Maximum Surge.
You think you can handle that?
Yeah.
And that game was a first-person realistic video game that featured several smaller mini games, and those are the ones that he plays over the course of this movie. And then so they filmed a bunch of stuff for that video game, and then the video game, and it was going to come out on it was scheduled for release in 1996 on 3DO, which I don't even remember. I didn't even.
Oh yeah, 3DO.
3DO, Mac, PC, and
Sega Saturn.
Sega Saturn, baby.
Pretendo, you weren't worth waiting for.
And then they canceled the game. They were like, "This is terrible."
No.
And so they were like, "But we got all this sweet video we shot with Walter Koenig and Yasmin Bleeth."
Oh, you mean the whole 4 shots of Walter Koenig?
Yes, that's him in a room. Oh, we got. I can't wait. The showdown with Walter Koenig is one of my favorite parts in the movie because so many times over the course of the movie, it's so, even if you had no idea this was originally a video game, it becomes very obvious at certain parts, and we'll talk about it later. But what the fuck was I about to say? My brain just maximum
The point
surge.
is the game fell through, and the people who I guess either had the rights to it or
that's
something,
where I was going.
they were like, we got to figure out
do
something to do
with this.
I mean, we can't just have archive stuff stuck for no reason.
Yeah. So what they did was they took that video, they shot an additional 30 minutes, and then they turned it into this film.
Yes.
In a virtual computer world, programmer Steve Hunter fights alongside his digital fantasy.
We've had the pleasure a couple of times.
Do you think whenever the original game people, they booked Walter Koenig, they were like, all right, look, Mark Hamill worked for Wing Commander, so
yeah,
we got, I know it's Star Trek, but not William Shatner.
Yes.
We got Chekhov.
Not William Shatner. Not Leonard Nimoy. Not whoever played Scotty. We got Chekhov, baby.
We're looking for the naval base in Alameda. Could you tell me where the nuclear vessels are?
But so they made this movie, and it's terrible. It's fucking terrible. Spoiler. It's fucking terrible, as would be imagined.
Oh.
You can watch this on YouTube. I don't know if it's a legit copy, but that's where I watched it. And it starts with the DVD menu screen.
It goes through a whole cycle of the DVD menu.
Yeah.
Like through the whole song, and then it like restarts, and you're like, oh.
And I kept sitting there. I'm like, am I supposed to hit something? I can't. I'm on YouTube. I can't do anything. And it kicks right in though, and the opening credits play, and it's just like the standard opening credits. And I love there's information during the opening credits, and I was like, I better not be expected to remember any of this information, because it's like character profiles on the screen, but also
it's kind
actors' names are on the screen.
All useless.
It's nothing. But we get into where our dude wakes up. Right? Isn't that the first scene? Is classic, like getting out of bed scene, and there's IMAX everywhere. There's so many.
Well, there's like monitors and stuff, and one of them opens up with his alarm clock, and it says death toll.
Death toll. Yeah, because that's a big thing, is that he is dealing with the fact that he created a program that is responsible for the death of like 26,000 people.
Steve Hunter, the gifted programmer that developed the virtual habitation system. The military version of that system has made you one of the greatest mass murderers of all time.
What?
Basically, they're kind of doing a parallel of like the people who worked on like atomic energy, and then that got taken and used to make atomic bombs, and so they're feeling a tremendous amount of guilt about it. But we never know what his program is. I guess it's some sort of like super spy
if you want
drone.
to go by that same thing with the amount of IMAX and stuff that are in here. Steve Jobs murdered, and I think Steve Jobs at least murdered several real people in real life with his bare, frail hands. We've seen those movies with Michael Fassbender and
Ashton Kutcher.
What are you gonna fire me? No! I already fired you! Why are you still here?
But there's so many IMAX everywhere, and it took me right back to my elementary school computer lab.
Lucky you. Now tell me if this was your experience back in early education, bringing a 3.5-inch floppy.
Oh yeah.
To save Word documents onto.
Yeah, early elementary school we had the old PCs or they might have been Apple still, but with like 3.5-inch floppies and stuff. And then right around the end when I got towards middle school, we got the computer lab that had all like the blue IMAX, like the blueberry round like IMAX,
like from Zoolander. Like they have this computer has thousands of files, and we're gonna bring you down with it. And then
Where'd all the files go?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of them in the background throughout the course of this movie. Those big bubble like iMac computers. Oh, those things are amazing. And they had the round mice. The mouse was round because that's what shape human hands are. Whatever.
Thank you, Steve Jobs.
Yeah, so stupid.
May you rest in peace.
So he gets a bunch of spam, and he redirects has his computer assistant direct it all to the net police, because that's a thing in this movie.
First locate the source of the spam, then use the flotsam virus to redirect all spam to the net police.
You know why they did that? Why they brought in this AI to help? So they wouldn't have to show anything that this guy's doing to hack.
No, he just goes, "Hey Alexa, send all that spam to the net police." Okay.
This movie was very ahead of its time.
Yeah, I don't remember what its name is, but then he gets a call from his somebody, one of the two girls. There's two of them. One of them disappears immediately and is never seen again in the movie. And I thought she was going to be a main character, but she is definitely not.
Well, before he wakes up, they have this scene with her, with Elaine, talking with this person who's posing as a therapist, and they want to help Steve because they think he's mentally distanced and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mentally and socially.
Yeah, but he's distancing himself because of the whole I'm responsible for the death of 26,000 people.
And in this scene where these two people are talking side by side and they have this 360-degree camera movement, it is on par with Oblivion NPCs talking to each other.
He's been suffering from bouts of depression and antisocial behavior for months.
Are you sure? I mean, that sounds like Steve on a good day.
I assure you, Steven's mental health is far from normal. Will you be willing to help us in this matter?
Like the amount of both expression in their voices.
Oh, yeah.
And the subject in which they're talking about is on par with NPCs.
That's every conversation in this movie, though, is just the most cardboard, like, I land, I hit this spot, I say my lines with some inflection, and then we move along.
Why do they have to do the test here?
Well, Steve, thanks to you, we have the only civilian habitation system in the world, in case you forgot. And with games releasing tomorrow, we sure could use the publicity.
Yeah, well, you know how much I hate this government shit.
But he gets a call on his digital phone system 6000, and it's the eighth member of S Club 7 calling to explain that she has kickboxing class, so she's not going to be at somewhere or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have long before my kickboxing class, but too bad you didn't make it out last night. Your friends miss you. God knows why. We all suspect you're cutting and pasting your comlink messages.
And this movie is so painfully 90s.
Yeah.
It's everything about it.
Well,
is,
like they're going for the tone of hackers.
Yeah, they're going for hackers.
We have a zero bug attacking all login and overlay files.
Run antivirus. Give me a systems display.
Down one section 6 to 26.
Yeah,
but it falls completely flat.
Oh yeah, it's hackers produced on the budget of the lowest budget season of Doctor Who. This whole movie looks like a bad episode of Doctor Who, like not even a good one from like the mid 2000s.
Drexel is the first of its kind to convert data directly into holographic plates. His capacity for learning is virtually unlimited.
Not coronavirus.
Better not be. Then we got to some I guess net police people in a car.
Yes.
And I just got to talk about this scene because it's wild.
Okay, so this scene's it starts off with their car going crazy because it's been hacked.
Ooh, it's hacked.
And a guy pulls out the junior officer pulls out his gun and says,
Cover your eyes, sir. I'm gonna shoot out the window. Damn it, Pinkerton. It's bulletproof on the inside, too.
Cover yourself, boss. I'm gonna shoot out the windshield.
Yeah.
No, don't.
It'll ricochet and kill us because it's bulletproof glass or whatever.
Okay.
And I also love as he says that, or right around there, he goes,
Some goddamn teenage mutant hacker is messing with the car's computer system. That's what's happening here.
You know what you do with a computer that goes rogue? You gotta shoot it. The one thing I told you not to do.
The thing I literally just told you not to do, I'm now gonna do. And I was like, is that the joke or is this movie that stupid? I don't know.
There's only one way to deal with a computer that's taken over by the dark side.
It's a very meaty onboard computer in this truck. It just stops the bullet.
Yeah.
It's very meaty.
Well, yeah, but it's hanging from the dash. It's like on the rear view mirror, and it's just like a little it looks like an iPhone or something. I don't know what it is. But yeah, he murders a computer because it's gone rogue. He murders it. He puts it down like Old Yeller. He's just like blam. So our guy, we find out his name is Steve Hunter, and he works for a computer company, or
he works for like a game company
who has a wing where they're producing the world's most advanced supercomputer at the same time.
Yeah, we're looking for Professor Roswell. He's with
Drexel Computer, sir.
Drexel Computer.
Oh yeah, they're all in the V Lab. It's just right through there.
What'd she say?
But yes, he works for some sort of like tech gaming company. He's like a game maker. Like he makes video games, but also they have a super secret computer section.
Kind of government ran.
Kind of. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
They get
this whole plot, by the way, is the one they added to tie in all the video game segments.
Yes.
This is like the overarching outside plot to like get us to the video game footage.
But he gets in. He's got to fiddle around with the key card reader because it doesn't work.
It doesn't work, but so because she broke it so that nobody can get in, but the only way to get in is just slide your credit card into the door and pop it open.
And then she opens the door for people anyways, which is
it's stupid. It's so stupid.
But we get to meet the kooky girl with the masquerade hat thing and all the crazy stuff, and she's a game developer.
Oh, she's she's the game developer. Her name is I wrote it down somewhere. I think it's Zoe. I had a note about Zoe here, and now I can't find it. Oh, yeah, she's the quirky hacker girl with goggles around her neck and wearing a masquerade mask, a pastel tank top, and high pigtails. Is like if you asked a supercomputer to create the ultimate 90s manic pixie dream girl, and they were like, here. Here. I was like, if this was made today, that character's played by Zooey Deschanel 100% of the time.
Just when you thought there couldn't be any more evil that could be invented.
But she's only in the movie for like this first scene, and then she leaves.
Bye.
She goes home, and they replace her.
Seeing as how tomorrow's a big day and everything, and I'm done. Maybe I ought to pack her in.
But they have some ribbing about the fact that he created his super perfect idea of a girlfriend in the computer game because he hates all people, and he likes her because she has an off switch.
She's a perfect date. Best of all, she comes with an on and off switch.
The funny part is, in regard to these video games that this was originally supposed to be, that what they're showing is just video.
Yeah.
So it's not even comparable to that.
No, he shows like this 3D model
Yeah.
of a girl of this character he created.
Lara Croft looking.
Yeah, it's like Yasmin Bleeth, but yeah, it looks kind of like Lara Croft.
Well, I mean, in regard to the
like the pixel count,
the pixel count, PlayStation graphics,
the polygon count, yeah. Yeah, she does. It looks like that, but then we get in and it's literally just video.
Yep.
But I think that's explained by maybe Drexel is like upgrading the graphics. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Drexel, we'll learn about Drexel shortly.
He's reprogramming the Maximum Surge game to steal information.
And then, so it turns out Steve Hunter is the Net Police's #1 target because he's a super hacker.
Mm-hmm.
We never see him really.
Well, like the head officer dude is like,
damn it! I'd have shot him right now. I'd have been doing the entire Net Police force a service.
I could have shot him right now and saved all of us the trouble.
Yeah,
which is like really confusing for what happens later on in the film. But
he's just playing up his. He's deep undercover, Kyle. Or no, he's not undercover. Is he? Is he undercover?
I don't think he's undercover.
He just like a turncoat. He just like, this is bad. You're bad, and I don't like working for you anymore.
Miss Parker, I'm not going to stop you. There are a few of us at the Net Police that have been working secretly to stop Drexel.
So they get into all this. None of this matters. They get into the room where Drexel is, and this is the supercomputer that they created called Drexel.
You mean Joshua?
What?
War Games?
Oh,
yeah. The computer in War Games.
It's been a long time
since
since I've seen
Joshua. This is basically Joshua.
Yeah, this basically is War Games, basically.
Shall we play a game?
Oh.
I think I missed him.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love to.
So they created this supercomputer that looks like you slapped a beer keg on top of Sputnik. Is like what this looks like.
It's got its landing module, a beer keg, and then like a little antenna on top.
Yeah, with a red eye in it. Yeah, it's terrible. Again, this looks like the worst production value Doctor Who episodes. Even the set is just a big black room with like random shelves of junk in the background. It's the most haphazard thrown together.
And they also have to make it in because they can't just destroy this computer. That they say like its casing is made of stuff that can survive
like a nuclear blast.
Yeah, exactly.
Drexel's outer shell is 100% tensile cobalt alloys. It would survive a ground zero nuclear detonation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the world's most powerful and invincible supercomputer named Drexel. And apparently Drexel can read minds through the people that use it, and then it learns from them, is what they say.
It also translates that person's brain responses directly into computer code that Drexel can analyze.
Drexel learns from reading our own thoughts. It's incredible.
It's nonsense. But so they he's got to try out. They got to have somebody try out the system.
Yeah.
And they put
They put the junior officer in there.
Yeah.
And he's like afraid of heights and like high speed. He's afraid of a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And they just stick him like literally on Tatooine going through the canyon.
It's a pod racing scene. I was like, now this is pod racing.
Now this is pod racing.
And then they stick him on a wooden roller coaster. He's like, I can't handle heights. Ah!
That guy freaks out at a roller coaster like he's watching his family be murdered. He's like, no.
God, no, please. Oh, no. Oh, please, stop it. I'm afraid of heights. Please, stop. Please, stop.
Drexel, that's enough.
No, it's like, it's a roller. I understand you're a little scared, but dude, it's a roller coaster. Okay.
Yep.
And then so it turns out they explain, the scientist who's there explains, who helped create Drexel, explains that Drexel loves video games, and anytime they give it a new video game, it just plays it and plays it and plays it until it masters it, and then it wants more video games, Kyle.
Once Drexel gets a new game, well, there's no stopping him from playing it until he wins. Drexel always wins.
It's addicted.
It's addicted to video games. And so,
I don't have that problem at all.
No, I don't know what they're talking about. I wouldn't understand that even a little bit.
Watch TV shirt.
And then Steve Hunter. Also, I got to talk about the way Steve Hunter's, his outfit could not be more quintessential 30s handsome bro, like a 30-something handsome bro in the 90s. He has the shaggy haircut. Mm-hmm. He's wearing a baseball tee and cargo pants.
And like a flash drive or something.
Yes, on a keychain. Yeah. Oh my god, I love everything about the aesthetic of this movie. It's truly just awful.
Everything on schedule?
All things good and evil.
Zoe,
Yeah?
I was just wondering.
And then, so he wants to go to try out Drexel, though. He wants to go, like, see what this whole, right? Isn't that what he does? He goes in there?
He's like, I want to see what you can do.
Yeah, he goes in there, and they were expecting this the whole time. Like, the government operatives who are there were like, yes, good. We must have him go.
But they're all keeping tabs, still with the facade. Still with the facade, like, we need to make sure that he's not becoming, like, crazy and wants to maybe hijack the system.
You were wonderful out there. I'm sure Stephen doesn't suspect a thing.
And that's what Elaine, so that's the whole other plot, is that's what Elaine thinks she's doing. She's friends with him, and they've been friends since high school and, like, dated on and off or whatever.
They even have, they have, like, one kind of line set up or exchange between the two where they're like,
remember in school how much we laughed, how much fun we had? What happened?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh. Okay, you're going for that low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. Yeah, and so she thinks she's helping him, but actually the government is there to do evil government things. So they tricked her and they tie her up and stuff. But so now he's getting into the system. He's talking to Drexel, and one of my favorite things is Drexel just comes right out and is like,
Drexel was programmed by the world's brightest computers to establish a new order.
Drexel was designed to create a new world order. And I was like, you're not very good at keeping that shit on the DL there, Drexel. Like, you just, boom, I'm an evil computer.
He hasn't learned subtlety or how to lie.
Yeah, or how to answer riddles until the end when he dies, and then he figures out the riddle. That's the thing that's set up, I guess we should mention, is that he asked Drexel some stupid riddle about crows. I'll just let you put the clip in.
75 crows land in an apple tree. Farmer gets so angry he takes out his shotgun and blasts the tree with both barrels. 25 crows hit the ground dead. How many crows remain in the tree?
And Drexel can't figure it out because riddles, obviously, goes over the computer's head. And then we'll get back to that later. You got to just remember that that's going to come back later.
Like the first thing the first thing we get in there for is maximum surge.
Yeah.
So like he gets put into the game and he's I guess like the story within Maximum Surge is there's like a resistance fighting the
it's some resistance fighting the evil guy who's called Drexel in the game, but apparently wasn't originally called Drexel, but Drexel replaced the bad guy with its own name.
But one man, a genius named Drexel, developed a method of retransmuting the elements to synthesize water. He started building power plants to do this. However, instead of being mankind's savior, Drexel became a dictator.
How much do you want to bet?
Because reasons.
How much do you... Oh God. It's kind of weird. Okay, so obviously Drexel was probably the character
in the game.
In the game, yeah. And they just redubbed everything.
Yeah.
With Walter Koenig.
Ready to become extinct.
Ready to become extinct?
Yeah,
and they were
with that little kid voice.
Yeah, and they couldn't, obviously they couldn't get him back or they needed to mask it or something like that. So, some parts probably don't quite match up right, and so they just used the dubbing to kind of go over it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, yeah.
Just so they could be like, all right, we don't need Walter Koenig anymore for like the day the half day of shooting that we did.
Witness the punishment he's taking because you refuse to stay out of my stations. That's okay. Beat me. we're getting a kick out of beating you.
Yeah, because that's the thing. In the video game world, Drexel is Walter Koenig. But in the real world, Drexel is a computer who has the voice of like a 6-year-old child.
But now Walter Koenig has the voice of a 6-year-old child.
But because they couldn't get Walter Koenig back to do more voiceover, they give him the voice of the 6-year-old child, and it's very confusing and strange. I also talk about this one scene because it maybe is my favorite like 30-second chunk in the movie, is where there's scientists and the government people are in the room talking to each other, and the scientist is like, gaming corrupted the computer.
Somehow, computer games have corrupted his logic circuits.
Gaming corrupted a computer.
And they talk about gateway games. They're like, it starts simple with like games
Pac-Man.
like Pac-Man and blah, blah, blah. But then pretty soon you're mainlining fucking Doom right into your fucking... like, what is happening?
It started with innocent games like Pac-Man and Android Belt.
Yes, the gateway games.
Precisely. But he soon moved on to the hard stuff, and well, eventually he got into illegal programs.
You think you're all fine with these Namco games from Japan.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're going to John Romero for your hookups.
And you don't want to know what you have to do to get those games. You don't want to know.
He made me his bitch.
It's so fucking weird. It's so, they really go, they say gateway games. They truly say gateway games.
Yes, the gateway games.
Precisely.
And then he's like, and they even go on from there and go, and if he doesn't get more and more challenging games, he's gonna nuke the world or make Gary Coleman president.
And if we don't give him what he wants, he threatens to launch nuclear missiles or send stock prices crashing. He could make Gary Coleman president.
Like, what? Is that a major problem? Is Gary Coleman like politically inept? I don't know anything about Gary Coleman. But sure, okay. I thought it was hilarious though. That fucking scene. Gateway
now
games.
the only thing that's going through my head is Gary Coleman as president.
Yeah.
He's got to have a secretary named Willis.
Yeah.
Just so he could be informed during the middle of an Oval Office meeting. Go, sir, the insurrection is becoming an issue in this area of the country. What you talking about, Secretary Willis?
Pardon me, Mr. Secretary Willis. What you talking about? So he starts playing the game. It is, like you said, Maximum Surge, and we also is this the first person movie ever, or first person video game movie? There are chunks of this movie.
This is not like TV, only better. This is life. It's a piece of somebody's life.
Because it was made for a video game where you're supposed to be playing like a first person shooter at times and stuff. We get first-person action sequences and stuff. Mm-hmm. I say action sequences, barely. But it is interesting because
if you take into the fact that this was made in like 94, 95, then yeah, probably.
Probably. I thought that was interesting. But again, it wasn't. It was because it wasn't intentionally going to be or intended to be a movie. Also, I don't know if you noticed, Kyle, but when he's playing the game, he uses a scroll ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hey, Kyle could play this game.
But also, he has that in the right hand, and in the left hand, he has like almost the Nintendo Power Glove.
Yeah.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
That he uses to shoot things. He's like, bang, bang, bang. It's so stupid. And then so we get into the world, and there's this great line where the guy says, if you run out of power on the beam, Drexel can get a hold of you, and if that happens, suck on the muzzle of your gun.
You don't want to run out of power on the beam. Drexel will get his hands on you. If he does, suck on the muzzle of your gun.
The dialogue. Everything in this movie is fucking terrible and amazing.
But
So he's playing Maximum Surge, and it is a first-person shooter. I have to talk about this. It is a classic, like one of the imagine I'm thinking like House of the Dead or whatever. Wasn't that one of them?
Time Crisis.
Well, Time Crisis, but it wasn't specifically House of the Dead actual video footage.
No. There wasn't really one that was the only thing I can think of that's actual video footage that was a first-person shooter is there was a Cowboy Quick Draw game that was for arcades.
Oh, yeah.
I've got me some dynamite, but I don't need it to blow you away.
But anyway, so it reminds me of that, like House of the Dead or Time Crisis or whatever. But it's like actual video footage, and you actually can see him playing the game early in the movie when he's in the lab with Zoe or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's a computer playing like a first-person shooter. It is Maximum Surge, yeah. And you can find some of the video on like YouTube. If you look up Maximum Surge game, you can find some of it. The only part they ever released, because it was like 5 different games, the only part that there's footage of is the Maximum Surge part, the first-person shooter part.
I want to know is the game developed? Was it developed enough to be released?
I think what they did is, it looks like to me, is that they finished.
Like, was it just shit and they were like, okay, we can't release this?
I think they shot a lot of the footage, but then they like did the gameplay portion of the first part, which was Maximum Surge, which is the most straightforward like shooter, and then they got to the football part, and they're like, how do we do this?
No, it's not gonna work.
How do we do this? We quit. We give up, is my guess. I have no idea.
Elaine, I've never been good at football. You gotta get me out of here before I get my ass kicked.
But so yeah, it's like a first-person shooter. And the video we see in the movie is literally the video from like what was going to be in the game, except in the game there's like a gun in the middle of the screen, because it is like a first-person shooter, which they didn't put in the movie, which I thought was interesting. And I love at one point he gets into a big firefight, and our guy stands up from behind cover, and just
takes it.
90% of the acting our main character does in this movie is this. That's 90% of his acting job, which, you know, kudos to you. You just sit in a chair and shake for.
I mean, you know, it's like Neo.
Yeah, yeah, it really is.
Where they're in the subway fight and he's getting like jackhammer punched in a pillar.
Yeah, and they just channel that for the whole movie. And then I don't know what happens, but the bad guys somehow channel a bunch of satellite beams to shoot a laser at the Nickelodeon studios that they're filming this in.
And they're like slowly downloading. Okay, so like this takes the whole concept of this and makes it go from like I would say modern day, like modern sci-fi, if you will, like all this technology can almost exist today.
Yeah.
Or this is a modern day setting.
Yeah.
To okay, hang on a second, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Where, hey, he's converting all the digital information in the world to like
plates.
Yeah, digital plates, and somehow that's more information,
and that's more efficient than storing it as digital. And I don't understand that in the slightest. They don't even try to explain it. A guy says words at us, and I'm like, sure, dude, whatever you say.
Drexel is the first of its kind to convert data directly into holographic plates. His capacity for learning is virtually unlimited.
And at one point, I love he walks over into Maximum Surge, and he's in Maximum Surge, and they incorporate the like getting the information in the real world into the game. And it's a guy, he sees some alien dude plug a cable into his belly button to absorb.
Yeah,
and he's like, they're learning by
umbilical like,
cord. Yeah, it's so fucking weird.
They refer to them as uglies, which is let's make something slightly monstrous just so you can like namelessly kill things.
Yeah. Yes. Wait, what is it?
Like they make them like kind of monsters. It's just a thing in video games where it's like make them slightly more monstrous and then get them just enough away to where you can unload on them.
Yeah.
Shot after shot and be like, yeah, they're just monsters.
They're just monsters.
When life support shuts down, our people die. Now, Drexel will replace all of us with these things, his uglies. Thanks to your crew at Titanium.
There was also some really dope miniatures that we missed when he first loads into the game. That like walker thing, the like mech walker is like
that was was
that from another movie?
What I thought that was assets from like Mech Warrior.
That's what it looked like to me. I was like, is this fucking Mech Warrior? Because it looks like fucking Mech Warrior. And I was like really impressed, but it looks like miniatures and there's like some crazy explosions. It's pretty awesome.
Mid-90s, right? Yeah.
Woo, Mech Warrior. And then the computer, because it becomes so smart, just starts inventing new technology. It can create force fields now, and it creates a force field around Steve so that nobody can get to him.
Yeah, prevents him from getting out and people from getting
into him, which I guess is important. And then, but she's talking. Elaine goes into the room and is like, "I gotta help him." She gets away from the bad guys at one point, even though they try to tie her up. And she's trying to help him.
From this point forward, her blouse is so desperately trying to get off of her.
It is. I can't even. Yeah. It is. It's like allergic to her chest. It is like, I gotta get out of here. And they're like, lean over more. We need you. The director constantly needs you to lean over a little more. Just a little more. I'm so upset. I need you to stop. And then it turns out her middle name is his computer password because he loved her all along or something.
Aww.
And so she's able to get into his computer and then
not use any type of like skill or anything. It's just like, hey Cynthia, can you
she scrolls around down there.
Can you do the thing?
Cynthia, access Drexel through the habitation system.
Wireless access acquired.
Yeah, she has Cynthia. Yeah, Cynthia. That's right. That's the computer's name. And she just like occasionally scrolls around and clicks the thing. And it's like, I did it. Good job.
Yay.
Then we cut back as this is all going down. We cut back to the scientist and the government guys. And I got to talk about this scene because it's fucking wild. This is the scene where the scientist dies.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking.
Okay. Yes.
This whole scene.
Hang on. They have the first little part where the junior officer dies.
Yeah. It's all one scene. It's
right.
all,
okay.
Yeah.
So they're saying like the world's gonna end soon because of reasons.
Drexel is gonna destroy it, I guess, because it's becoming.
Is he going
too
like
powerful.
full Brainiac where he just downloads all the information and destroys the planet?
I think that is what they're implying.
China and Europe are black. Drexel sped up the drain. That just leaves North America.
And the scientist turns to the junior cop and says, if you have a girlfriend or a wife, go home and fuck her good because the world's about to end.
Son, if you have a wife or a girlfriend, well, go to them. Make love for one last time. None of us have long left.
And then it gets better. The junior cop's like,
I'm a virgin, sir.
And then the senior cop,
the government bad guy.
Yeah.
Because the senior cop's already left.
Yeah. The government bad guy
just pulls him to the side. Yeah. And is like, yeah, you should definitely get out of here. Pulls the guy's gun and shoots him.
And goes,
you didn't have to kill him.
I was just putting him out of his misery. Roswell, take a look at this.
Just putting him out of his misery. It's amazing. And then the scientist is like, what? Oh no. And he turns to the scientist and shoots the scientist. And the scientist's death, he's just like, ugh, and falls off camera. That scene is fucking incredible.
Amazing,
yes. It's so fucking good.
That's the scientist's prescription for end of the world is just go bang somebody.
Go make love, son. The world's ending.
Son, if you have a wife or a girlfriend, well, go to them. Make love for one last time. None of us have long left.
So the bad guy, that's why the scientist dies, is the bad guy explains,
Drexel and I have a deal. I sneak Drexel in here to play the latest games, and in return, Drexel gives me the world's digital information.
I've made a deal with Drexel. I'm going to help him steal all the information in the world, and then I'm going to have access to it to sell it back to everybody.
But he plans on destroying the planet. You already kind of know that.
They just said that it was going to be the end of the world if it happened, so who's he selling it back? I don't understand. And then the scientist goes,
you can't make a deal with machines, Commander. They outlive us, outsmart us, and they have no soul.
Neither do I.
Before he shoots the scientist. They don't have souls. Neither do I. Damn. Oh, great stuff. Woof. And then, motherfucking Mike Dick.
We got good offensive linemen. We run the ball well. We're proud of our people. We like our people. For those who don't like our people, that's tough. We like them.
Okay, so now the government dude's like the government dude's just throwing Steve Hunter into all these different games, and one of them is quarterback attack. Yeah. And you start off in the locker room. And you're the new quarterback who's joining. Mike Ditka comes out of nowhere. Yeah. He's your head coach.
Yeah, he's like, I'm Mike Ditka. You gotta go out there and win, kid. It's like, what is going on? It's amazing. And I love it. You walk around this locker room and all the guys are like,
magazine here says you got the best passing game in town. I hope they're right.
Come on, Fetterman. The kid's got a job to do.
Come on, newbie. You gotta go win the big game. And they're just generic, nondescript football team or whatever. And then so you run out onto the field. And I don't know if you noticed this.
That is a cult, like maybe a
it's like the Orange Bowl or something.
Yeah, it's like a Division II football field that they go on.
No, it's huge. It's like I thought it was fucking huge. It's a bowl.
I mean, like maybe like whatever outdoor thing they were using. No, it was not a bowl. It was one side of bleachers.
Oh,
you didn't even see the other side.
Oh, well, that wasn't even what I was talking about. My favorite thing is that when they're on the football field, and it's hard to tell, but if you look real close, and it obviously, because at first I was like, holy shit, they got a lot of extras to come be in this fucking movie to fill up these stands.
Mm-hmm.
They're cardboard cutouts, Kyle.
What?
If you look in the crowd is cardboard cutouts. There's like a couple, but it is like how they do in video games, where it's like a couple people who are real every now and then who move, but then the rest of them are cardboard cutouts.
I do like how they pulled my dick out of like wherever hole they found him in at the time.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, so is this gonna go? Are we gonna make any fake teams up for this? Nope. Red team versus yellow team.
Yeah.
Oh. So it's like a shitty NES game. What is it? Was it
Tecmo Bowl?
There we go, Tecmo Bowl. That was it. It started with a T. I could not remember it. Play Bo Jackson. You're just gonna break the game.
Oh man! And then, but he's bad at football, so he's getting his ass kicked. And then he's like, Elaine, you got to get me out of here. And
I can get teleported to a game where I don't know how to take cover and I just get shot.
Get shot, even though he's the best in the world at that game. They say he's like the best at it, but he just stands there and gets shot over and over again. But she scrolls around on the laptop and goes, and it transports him into a different game. And now he's back in Maximum Surge. And then he shoots a bunch of people, and when you shoot people in Maximum Surge,
they explode.
They explode. I don't know if we've noticed this before, or if it's happened before this moment, but they explode in a fiery ball. It's amazing. Every time he shoots somebody.
That's what the lasers do.
Then, now the government guy's like, no, you're not playing Maximum Surge. Because I think the premise is that if he can beat Maximum Surge before the the computer finishes, then he can stop the computer. But so they're trying to put him in other games to slow him down.
Sure.
I don't know, but they put him in a zombie game.
Yeah, they put him in a zombie game, and they got the guy coming from Jamaica helping you with the zombie invasion.
The only thing that would have made this better if it was Alex Maisonette playing the fucking Jamaican.
Let me tell you a story, man.
Little champion.
You want to hear a story, man? Okay, little champion. You want to hear a story, man? Okay. Once upon a time, man.
A dude just shows up in a Jeep with a shotgun, and he's like, hey.
Welcome to hell, sucker. Get your booty down here, you poor damn fool.
Yeah, you get stuck in a tree as a paratrooper, and there's zombies everywhere, and then you roll out, and you're in a Jeep, and you're fighting zombies, and there's zombies everywhere. It's fucking wild.
By the way, if this was, I would almost want to play this instead of like whatever Maximum Surge was.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure. We keep cutting to that actor from Things. He's like a witch doctor in this in like 2 scenes. You'll recognize him. His name is Vincent Schiafelli or something like that.
He looks kind of like discount Chris Elliott.
A little bit. The thing I most noticed him from, he was in several episodes of Buffy. But he's also was in Tomorrow Never Dies. He played like a villain in that. He's been in a bunch of stuff, and when you see his face, he has a very particular face that you will not forget.
You think you're wearing those clothes? You think you're crouched on that floor? Bullshit! You ain't got a body no more, son. It's all up here now. You want to move something, you got to move it with your mind.
He's playing a witch doctor that I think is maybe responsible for these zombies, but is also Drexel. And again, I cannot stress enough, none of this makes any sense. This movie is just...
Yeah.
It's the most slapdashed together thing that I think we've ever watched. Yeah,
it's a Frankenstein monster.
It's a lot like the very first episode we did. Every shot's a low-angle shot looking up at our hero, and there's a White Castle sign just in the background.
RoboVampire,
which was 2 films.
Or maybe 3 films.
Or 3 films, and yeah, sewed them all together. I also love that they always, whenever bad guys show up, I think he gets transported back to Maximum Surge, or maybe not, but there's a moment where some bad guys show up, I think it's Maximum Surge, and bad guys pop up, and it cuts to our guy in the chair, and he's like... He like hyperventilates every time a bad guy appears, and I don't
remember. He's the best.
He's the best, but he sees a bad guy and he fucking loses his mind over it. It's fucking wild. Also, they're walking through a zombie tunnel at one point, or a tunnel in the zombie game. I think my brain is melting from this movie. And they're walking through a tunnel, and the girl they're with, there's a woman, a reporter in the zombie game, and she gets grabbed by zombies and does the world's slowest pirouette, and then it just escapes from the zombies.
Yep.
it's all wild. It's all so wild. There's a kung fu movie, Kyle.
Yeah. What was that?
That's the other game. It's a kung fu
Crouching
game.
Tiger, Hidden Dragon, people flying around and stuff.
Literally, this is the best part of the movie because there's some pretty cool stunts. There's one where a guy jumps off a roof spinning and like lands in front of you, and I was like, that was fucking cool looking. Like, you can't see the wires or anything. It looks pretty great. And then he karate fights a bunch of people, and I love that.
And then he karate fights the witch doctor dude.
Yeah. Well, it's a different witch doctor. It's not that guy.
No, yeah, it's a completely different guy.
Yeah,
whatever.
It doesn't matter.
This film / video game is bonkers.
It's
makes
nothing.
No sense.
It's nothing. But I love their because they realized. I guess they realized they couldn't show first person punching and kicking for some reason. So when our character is fighting the bad guys, it cuts to like a third person over the shoulder view whenever he kicks them, and it's the only time in the movie it ever happens. It's
okay.
And then we're back in football, and I literally was just getting a headache at this point, where we're jumping from game to game to game, and everything's loud and obnoxious. And I know that's ironic coming from me, but it's it's truly the worst.
Main bad guy government dude's like, all right, I gotta go take care of this because he just keeps winning or something. But he goes into the room with everybody else now, and he just kind of unloads in the computer area where the girl and senior officer are.
Yeah, and he hits the senior officer.
He hits the senior officer, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's behind a force.
Oh, because the senior officer is helping the good guys at this
And so now he's behind the force field so they can't shoot him.
Yeah.
And so they come up with a plan.
Yeah. The cop's like, I got it. I'm going to give you my gun.
Yeah, and I'm gonna basically draw his fire because I'm bleeding out.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna die anyways.
I'm dead within 5 minutes. Look, that boy of yours is our only hope. Now you nail that scumbag.
Yeah, he goes, I'm going to go there, and then the Drexel will drop the force field so that he can shoot me, and then when that happens, you shoot him, is the idea. And she does, they do that, but I love, the force field is down for so long, she could have just shot the other guy before he shot our guy, like the cop, but she doesn't. She lets him die first and then shoots the other guy. Okay,
gotta make sure she hits, right?
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even talk about the boxing match.
Yeah,
I think that's like right now.
Yeah. So like he also throws him into a boxing game.
I was like, oh shit, it's fight night round 2.
Fighting the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah.
Because I have Michael Butler in this.
Now, let's get ready to rumble.
They do, yeah. They have this scene has all kinds of random cameos in it, but or at least a couple.
Yeah, they have Dick Miller.
Dick Miller shows up.
Man.
Yeah.
They have Michael Butler, and then they have what I thought was Bradley Whitford at one point, but it might have just been Dick Miller.
It was just Dick Miller with different lighting. I think.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, what the hell's he doing in here?
You're blowing it, kid. Giving this fight away to that no good piece of garbage. Get out there and kick his butt.
Nah, he was when this was filmed, he was right smack in the middle of making The West Wing, so I don't think he was gonna like take some time off to do a video game. But
30-second hypothetical. You're Lloyd Russell, newly crowned prince of the white suburban woman, the upper middle class black man, the teachers union. You're no friend of the sitting president. What do you do?
Well, no, because this would have been recorded in '95.
Oh, I guess technically, yeah, that was right.
This would have been at the same time he was doing Billy Madison.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, so there's boxing, but it doesn't matter. Nothing happens in it. Our guy just gets punched and shakes in his chair a lot more. And then the way the movie ends, she kills the scientist guy, and then she sends a virus to the computer, Drexel.
Which I guess forces the final level of maximum force.
Maximum surge. I called it maximum overdrive in my notes the whole time, so I think it's a movie, right? I don't know. So. And then so he's in maximum surge, and I love he's fighting a bunch of guys, and it's so classic video game. This one particular one where they're in a warehouse has like every single like time crisis bad guy in it. Yeah. There's guy who pops up behind box with a machine gun, normal. Guy on catwalk with a gun, normal. Guy on motorcycle who drives from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen. Guy who pops up from behind box and throws grenade at you. Like it's every one of those classic like time crisis bad guys.
You gotta shoot the grenade in the air.
Yeah. I gotta shoot it before it gets to you. Oh yeah. And then when he shoots guys that are on the catwalk, they can't just die. They have to jump off the catwalk and explode as they fall because it's, of course they do. then they get into the final room where Drexel is, which is Walter Koenig.
And he has like the resistance leader helicopter.
A guy we've never even talked about because he's not important.
Yeah.
Who kind of looks like I want to say Paul Giamatti, but that's not who I'm thinking of, so never mind. One of those guys. But I love this because this is a moment where I was talking about earlier where it's like so clearly a video game because he's holding this guy hostage and he's standing behind a desk and he's like on the right edge of the desk. And then he like points the gun at us as the camera and then he points it back at him and then he slides 6 feet over to the left and then stands there and points the gun and then he slides 6 feet back to the right and he like going back and forth between his two pre-programmed spots where he's allowed to stand. Yeah. It's fucking amazing. And our guy just shoots him, I think. I don't even remember.
And then he gets up and makes a makes a maniacal laughter and hits like a self-destruct button.
Yeah, and the thing that's wild is that during this scene, we see it start to completely explode, and then we cut back, and our people are still inside, and then it cuts outside, and the building is like exploding, and then inside they're fine. I didn't understand that at all. And then they get out and they conquer Drexel. Woohoo!
Yay!
And Elaine lived because she got electrocuted at one point, which is not important, but we were worried she might die.
Oh, no.
I guess I don't care about these people. Obviously,
then Drexel's like, "Hey, I got it. I got why the crows weren't in the trees. Now
I can die in peace."
The other birds flew away, didn't they? The answer is 0, because the gun's noise made the other 50 birds fly away. I understand everything now. Goodbye, Stephen Hunter.
And then the child dies. And then the child computer dies.
The way he put that.
But then we get they were gonna make a sequel to this, Kyle, because
they were.
The camera pushes into a computer screen and it kicks on, and Drexel or somebody is on the screen, or no, I don't even remember. Somebody's on the screen and goes,
"He'll be back. The Drexels of this world always come back. Always come back. Always come back.
Drexels of this world always come back," and it's like dramatic music. And the movie ends. And I say movie. I don't mean movie.
I kind of had the hope that this would be massively, massively successful. And we would, the reason for that being is we would have an entire film franchise that was originally based off something that was a failed video game.
Yeah, that would have been something. No, this movie's fucking terrible. This movie's bad.
It's bad.
There's some funny stuff for sure. I love watching the bad guys pop up from behind barrels, and the very clearly first person shooter level stuff is like funny to watch in a movie.
Not to speculate too much, but do you think that the people who did this, like whoever watched this for the tax year that this came out, if they were in like the IRS, they audited these people for like trying to double write off footage?
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's
just a thought.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know enough about taxes to tell you otherwise. Don't commit tax fraud.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Don't do it. Don't launder money through your $5 million special effects.
That motherfucker. I think I found that guy, by the way. I think I found the director on Facebook, but that's a whole story for a different day.
That's the story for another day.
Yeah. So yeah, it's bad. It's on YouTube. You can watch it, but I would not really recommend it. It's pretty.
It's an hour and a half of your life you won't get back.
Nah, you saw all the most interesting stuff in this review, so don't watch it. As always, you can do us a big giant favor. Support us on patreon.com/GBorBB. I always forget which one it is. GBorBB. And you get access to all kinds of stuff. We have a bunch more mail. We're going to be opening very soon. We're not going to do it this time, so it's going to be a little while, but we will be opening soon. We got a bunch more, so if you sent us something...
Like, yeah, you're like, it's going to be a little while.
It's going to be a while.
And next December.
It's going to be a little while before we even open it, let alone to when I finally fucking edit the episode. Who knows when that'll be. But we got some. It's coming. And then I have a podcast called This Film Is Lit, where we talk about movies that are based on books. When this is out, the episode that will be out is... blue is the warmest color, I think. No, yes, that is. Blue is the warmest color. If you want to hear it, it's based on a graphic novel.
It's a movie Brian really wanted to watch.
You know. It's also based on a graphic novel, apparently, which I did not know. And Kyle, you have a Twitch stream, twitch.tv /
I Twitch stream apparently just not quite as often as I probably should.
Yeah, same here. I need to. I will once I get my new computer updated. I'm building a computer currently, and once it's done, it'll be. I'll be able to stream.
It's got a see-through side panel.
So it's cool, dude.
High tech. It's got so many colors.
You don't even know how many RGB components are in this motherfucker. It's gonna be RGB up the ass in this bitch.
It's gonna be like Willy Wonka's tunnel.
Oh, everything is RGB on this computer. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, so once my new computer's up, I'll actually, because my current computer is 10 years old and dying, so that's part of the reason I have issues. Anyways,
literally pull the plug on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it down. I gotta shoot it, Kyle. I gotta get a gun and I gotta shoot my computer because
it's my computer. I gotta do
it. Take it out back. Yeah. Anyways, until next time, keep watching movies.
Just not over maximum
oversurge drive.
Maximum oversurge drive.
You know what's the biggest disappointment of this whole fucking movie? There's not one single surge in the whole movie. Come on, you call your movie maximum.
It would be better if it had something to do with an energy source in maximum surge, and he's literally like overpowering like a nuke reactor or something like that, where you got to stop him or it's gonna blow up a city. That would have been smarter.
Kyle, don't.
I know. There's no point.
No point. Just stop.